Natalie Cochran's verdict is in, and it just came in about 10 minutes ago. So we're going to go ahead and watch. If you haven't been following with us, she is accused of killing her husband, Michael Cochran. They were together for almost 19 years. They had two children together. One is 17, one is 20. She was arrested at the time of his death because it was uncovered that she was doing a Ponzi scheme and actually took millions of dollars from people she didn't know, but also family and friends, including Michael's parents. So it's been a very hard hit for his parents in all of this. She was supposed to testify. She said on Friday that she was going to testify. And last minute yesterday, they said she changed her mind. So I was wondering how the jury would react to that. I wasn't happy about it. We were waiting for her testimony, but at least now we're getting the verdict. We get to see some of their thoughts, and they should do some victim impact statements. So let's get this teed up.
Madam Foreperson, has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, sir.
Would you hand that verdict to the bailiff who will transmit it to the court? Would the defendant please rise? In the case of State of West Virginia versus Natalie Cochran, case number 23-F-343K, the jury verdict is as follows. We, the jury on the issues, joined unanimously find the following. The defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree. The verdict form is signed by Holly Rich, foreperson of the jury. It is dated 1/29/2025. There are no marks on the portion of the verdict form pertaining to involuntary manslaughter. Does the state wish to examine the jury verdict form?
Very good, thank you.
Does the defense?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You may be seated. Is there a request for the court to poll the jury?
Not from the state, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right. The verdict is received by the court and directed to be recorded. I'll ask the state to prepare an appropriate order in the premises. The court accepts the jury verdict and finds this defendant guilty of murder in the first degree. The defense will be afforded time to file all appropriate motions, and as we discussed earlier, we must have further proceedings concerning the aspect of mercy. I would like to do that right away, and perhaps to commence this afternoon. I can afford the defense or the state 2 hours to prepare, and we can go directly into the mercy phase.
Your Honor, as we pointed out to the court, we cannot have our witnesses prepared in 2 hours. Specifically, we anticipate calling the children. They are not close by at all. They're in school.
Oh. Well, Matthew.
No. What? I can't hear you.
I've been corrected on that particular point, but we have to get in touch with our other witnesses. It will take considerable time to do that. We have to make sure they can get here, and we respectfully request to continue these proceedings and have the mercy portion sometime tomorrow.
What saith the state, Mr. Truman?
Your Honor, the state's prepared to go forward. We understand the defense situation. If they could proffer a number of witnesses they're going to have, that might be helpful. And if they can't start out today, then we defer to the court's judgment.
All right. Members of the jury, let me explain to you the circumstances. You have found the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree. There is another aspect that you must consider, and that is whether or not to afford to her mercy. If she receives mercy, she will be eligible for parole in 15 years. If she does not receive mercy, she will spend the rest of her life in prison. And that is a decision that you must determine. We must have a mini trial, so to speak, further proceedings for you to hear additional evidence in that regard and make a determination. You will have to return another verdict in regard to that matter. So the upshot of the situation is you are not finished with your responsibilities. And it is perhaps unfair to start into this right away and to force the attorneys to proceed in this very critical and important part of the proceedings. So it is such that we're going to start up at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I hope you'll understand, and I hope that you will continue to be cooperative and patient and considerate and proceed as you have already. You have been here promptly, and you have provided service as jurors in the manner expected, in the manner certainly I request. So here's the deal. I must still warn you and admonish you not to read anything, hear anything, talk to anyone about this case. And by anyone, I'm talking about your family members or friends, because tomorrow is another day insofar as you all are concerned, and we will proceed further in regard to the mercy phase of this case. So you're not done, and we need for you to come back. And you may be sad about that, or maybe you're okay with that. I don't see anybody throwing tomatoes at me yet. So hopefully you'll understand. We need to finish this out. We have much time invested in it, and we simply need to bring it to a conclusion. And I will need you back in your jury room at 9 a.m. I'll try to have a treat for you as a bribe for you to come back. And please follow my instructions. Don't watch anything on TV or see anything online. Again, for the purpose of this additional phase, I want you to have an open mind and to hear the evidence so you can make this additional determination. I can't tell you anything as to what you must do in regard to mercy, but if you have any questions about the procedure, or if you want to curse me, now would be the time to do that. I don't see any curses, and I don't see anybody complaining too much. All right, I will need you back in your jury room tomorrow by 9. Anything further before I let the jury go for the day from the state?
Not for the state, Your Honor.
From the
No, Your
defense.
Honor, thank you.
All right, you may follow the bailiff to your jury room, and I'll see you in the morning at 9 a.m. All right, we will start up for the mercy portion of this case in the morning at 9 o'clock. The defense will go forward first, sort of an unusual arrangement. There is no burden of proof, and it's sort of the wild, wild west, more or less. The court will be very lenient in terms of evidence to be presented. The only thing that I'm bound by is rules 401 and 403 of the rules of evidence. 401, of course, relates to relevancy. 403 requires the court to engage in the balancing to make sure that the probative value of any evidence
Okay. So he's just going over what is going to be going on for tomorrow. Part of me is a little bit surprised. So she was accused of giving him an insulin overdose. He wasn't on medication to take insulin. He didn't need insulin. She was a pharmacist, so she had access to all these things. She knew how they worked in the body. She also would have known that it would be really hard to find that it was insulin. And they eventually did, over a long period of time, discover that it was that. So they're saying that she had motive because of the Ponzi scheme that he was catching on to. They're saying that she used her smarts with her career and was able to poison him in that way. And part of me still was like, well, maybe that's still not enough proof of evidence for the jury. But I think one of the most damning parts of it for her was when he hit his head on the counter, which, once again, it was a stone countertop. They said stone. I'm assuming it's granite. He supposedly cracked the granite with his head. That's how hard he hit it and fell. And he was laying on the ground. She was taking pictures of him and sent them to at least her sister, saying he's on the ground and he won't get up. He won't do anything. We were previously told that he never liked going to the doctors. He didn't want to go to the doctors. And so she felt like, oh, there's nothing I can do. So she let him lay there for hours. She ended up having 2 construction workers outside help move him to the couch, and he laid there. And it was about a 4-hour window of him just laying there and dying. And she didn't bother to call and have an ambulance come. She didn't do anything. And all the while, they have all the electric receipts or electronic receipts that during this time, she was still doing her Ponzi scheme. She was still stealing money from people as he was laying there dying. And I think that that was the biggest, like I said, damning evidence that the jury was going to get, that something wasn't right. You're watching your husband, who you love, hit his head, fall to the ground, incapacitated, and you're not doing anything about it because he doesn't like going to the doctors. It's very odd, very off. And then to go by that much time and he passes away, it's just something was really wrong. So they're going to start the mercy proceeding tomorrow to see if she can get parole or not. He said that if they give it to her, that will be 15 years, which I'm shocked. I think that's little time for what she has now been convicted of. But I guess we'll just have to tune in tomorrow, see what the jury has to say. With all of that, her children will be speaking. Both of the children spoke during the actual trial, but the son, since he is 17, they didn't show his face. But I'm pretty positive the next couple days after that, he was sitting directly behind his mom in the trial. So his face was shown even after that. So he may take the stand. They may or may not show his face because of what he has chosen to do for the rest of the trial. He was also warned that if he was sitting in the audience like that, that they would show his face. So he knew what was going on. But yeah, her parents seemingly had been there for several days. I'm sure they will talk. And it's going to be really interesting to see if Michael's parents talk, because as I said, she stole millions from them. and then this is their son. So it'll be interesting to see if they have anything else to say that we didn't get to hear as a part of the actual trial or not. So we will be back on here early. I believe it's going to start at 9 or 9:15 in the morning. So we'll be back here ready to go. I'm covering another trial that picks back up at 12:30, so in about 20 minutes. Another wife has been accused of killing her husband. Her lover pled no contest, and the guy who helped kill him, they all basically said, yeah, we did it, and it was because of her. So her trial just started yesterday, and it was only opening statements, and it already is not looking good for her. So that would be a good one to hop on if you didn't watch yesterday. We're not too far into it. Today's only day 2. So, all right, I will see you then. If not, maybe back on tomorrow for this mercy proceeding. Thanks for watching.